What's good, y'all? I'm in the parking lot of the grocery store as I'm shooting this video, but I wanted to pop in and make a video about the market today because it was very, very, very interesting, and it's been interesting for the past few months. But something that I want to bring to your attention is that things are not going to always be exactly what they read, and you got to kind of use a little bit of experience and market intuition. The only way that you get to that point is just by repetition. Some people are new to the market. Some people have only been here for a couple of months, couple of weeks. Some people a year, whatever. But there's a lot of things that are taking place that are kind of a repeat, right? But it may seem a little unprecedented to people who may have not traded, before. But in times like this, right, when you have negative news coming from the president, not so good news coming from the Fed, it is typically getting the retail traders up out of there. What most people are thinking is like, okay, we got to sell. I'm reading comments. I'm looking at live comments on YouTube from the Fed meeting, and a lot of people are like, sell, and that's what they're doing, right? But the reality is, you want to be a contrarian. And I know people are just like, this trading shit is just frustrating. It's like, if I can't read the charts and that's what I do, then what's the point? How do I ever get consistent or ever have some sort of predictability? And like I said, it comes through developing your trader's intuition through experience. So when I see a hard push for something, I'm like, there's gotta be a reason that this is taking place. So if you're in my group, I called NVIDIA. You saw NVIDIA pop at the end of the day because of news coming out, right? I called NVIDIA not just because of the news, but I knew that if there was any news, this is how you take advantage of it. Already being positioned when there could potentially be some news, right? NVIDIA had a falling wedge. We were already outside of it, but we were consolidating. Why were we consolidating? Market manipulation, right? But with such a large number of people waiting for just some sort of good news to happen with NVIDIA, that is what caused the pop, and it's probably going to continue its breakout all the way to 160, right? Write that down. Also, Palantir. Palantir was something that I held on tight to today, even though it wasn't making its proper move. What we had in Palantir was called a delay reaction, right? It was bound to go up. What it wants to do is go up and fill that gap so that it can then do what I believe the market wants to ultimately do, is drop, right? But not in the short term, not like right away. It wants to get everyone convinced that we are going to the upside before it drops. So this is what I'm seeing in the market. Again, this is not financial advice. I'm just a person who's, made a nice amount of money, trading stocks. So I'm just sharing my experience, and it's totally up to you to decide how you want to trade. I am not telling you to go spend any of your hard-earned money in these markets. But as you can see, if you're in the group, I've been undefeated this month. I have not called a bad trade this entire month, right? So, yes, it hasn't been that many days in the month, but we're on a great path for Money May, right? I know we're doing this 3-stock challenge where basically just like reducing our focus to 3 stocks and only trading those this month, so that people can really get their profits up. All right. Now, back to what I was saying. It's like a lot of what people are seeing is just like frustration, and that's exactly where market makers want to have retail traders, right? That's exactly where they want to have you, is frustrated, so that they can continue to scoop up your money, right? They want you to feel like you can't trust yourself. And I know that seems, like it's not as cut and dry as the technicals, but you have to understand that is a part of building your edge. You have to figure out some sort of way to position yourself in opposition of most people, right? That's where your money's going to be made. Now, it is times where most people are right? Like where you might have already been positioned, and then like the FOMO of it all is where you get paid, but that's where you get out at, right? But it's times like this where things are confusing that you start to look for opportunities that have technicals that you see, right? Even though the technicals don't always get obeyed, In the short term, what I'm recommending for people to do during times like this is to swing at least for 30 days. This is going to protect you to the downside. So it's not going to, rot at your premiums that much. And it's going to give you the opportunity to shake off any sort of manipulation that may be happening in the short term. Okay. I got into a NVIDIA call and was able to wait because it's been outside of the wedge for a little bit. And now we get a little bit of news, and now it decides that it wants to blast off to 3% today. I think it's going to continue in the post market and go even crazier tomorrow. So definitely get in the Discord, y'all. If you're not in the Discord, get in the Discord, okay? If you are watching this video or coming across this for the first time, consider yourself blessed. We're giving you 7 days for free to come hang out, make some money, and learn. And if you don't have fun, if you don't make money, then just cancel the subscription and you never pay. And you worst case scenario, have met some new people, have learned some new things, and made a little bit of money. It's totally up to you. But also, if you do decide to stay, we still are offering the best price and the best quality at just $40 a month. I don't know where you're going to find that level of commitment, that level of skill. Again, I'm trading 100% this month so far. Last month we were like 88%. So we're really doing our thing in terms of statistics, and we post our statistics in the group. We post our profits, we post our losses and lessons, all of those things. So it's very transparent, very open community. And if you're looking for a place to just kind of get out of solitude and have a place where you can, be amongst other people and, bounce your ideas off of people and learn from other people's mistakes, and other people learn from your mistakes, and, just really holistically growing as a trader, it's no other place to be than the Prosperity Collective. I stand on that. I put my, my name on that, right? So the Prosperity Collective, me and my boy Zay, every single weekday, we coming at you 9:15 Eastern to about 11:30, a.m. Eastern as well. So about 2 hours of trading. Sometimes we'll be in there a little bit longer if we have some lingering trades, and sometimes it's even shorter if we get bangers in the first, hour or so. So that's all I got, man. I just wanted to drop in with y'all and just really remind you to stay on the contrarian side. Always question, always try to figure out, where is that exhaustion point? Where is that point in which they have just exhausted the majority of people based off of the consistent news cycle that's in place, right? You got to understand, we are all seeing the same thing. So if we're all seeing the same thing, it's not about reacting to that thing. It's about how can you maneuver your way into a play that majority of people are going to react to at some point. I hope that makes sense. If it doesn't, again, always reach out to me in the comments. Shoot me a message, join the Discord. You can ask even more questions, right? My goal is to make sure that you guys are profitable traders, because if you're not, I ain't really getting my job done. You know what I mean? All right. When I see somebody's not getting to it, I want to make sure that they are getting to it, because this skill set can completely change your life. If you're doing this on a consistent basis, you can replace your income. You can start being out like I am right now. Like I'm at Sprouts right now. Got some some fresh produce and all that stuff for the rest of the week. Got some coconut water. It's watermelon season, so I got the seeded watermelon too. So yeah, and I'm also here being able to trade at the same time. So it's just a beautiful thing. All right, much love and respect. I'll see you guys in the next one.